Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. My name's Colin, and today I have two special guests. Raghav, how you doing, buddy? Always a staple on the channel.
I'm doing good, just happy to be back. I feel like it's been a while.
And then we also have world champion and regional champion this year, Toller Webb.
That's right. I don't know why I'm here. Colin just said I had to come, and I don't know why.
We were in the Discord chilling, making practicing, and I said it's tier list time, guys. So let's begin. So obviously, okay, I put the shitmons at the bottom. These guys do not matter. You don't have to worry about them. The other guys are like somewhat viable. So let's start off. Wait, have you guys played any of this at all? By the way.
I've clicked Glacial Lance like at least 10 times over the course of two best of threes.
Perfect. I watched Moxie Boosted play a best of three on the ladder last night and Sempra, so I got two viewing games. Raghav?
I've just watched my friends Justin Burns and what is it? Recurring Showdown chat members play in the room tours.
Okay, so we don't have too much information. This is just like our first glance at the format. We'll make tier lists in the future, so they always get mad views. So we'll be back for more tier lists. But without further ado, let's begin. Let's start with Koraidon. How are we feeling about the new legend? Gas or not gas?
Is it a boom or a doom? I think it's A tier, honestly. Like, its ability's pretty sick. It sets up the sun, gets an attack boost, and there's too many photosynthesis mons to, like, benefit from it. And its signature move's pretty sick. Collision Course, what is it, like, does 1.33333333 times damage to extra?
Okay, but is Collision Course any better than CC usually?
I
Yeah,
think it
it's
might
definitely
be.
better than
Especially if you're
You don't
trying to
get
take
defense
one
drop, do you?
shots. You don't get defense drops, but like CC's actually getting one shots, or Collision Course can miss them, especially if you're not super effective. Like, I don't know, man. I'm
You might
rehashing
be
the
right.
point,
That
but
doesn't make or break the tiering of it, though. I think A tier is
absolutely
pretty
not.
good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been putting Koraidon on an S tier, and it really surprises me. Like, a mon that needs to Terra in front of Fluttermane, which will be on probably over half of teams again. It's like, yeah, I would totally put Hydreigon in S tier in Reg C. But the upside of Koraidon is it's a lot stronger than Hydreigon and
Yeah,
a lot
very.
faster. The Terrafire is actually kind of worth it on Koraidon.
Yeah, Terrifier is so good, especially in the
yeah.
sun. So, like,
It's good.
it definitely A tier. It could be S if it's more centralizing than we're giving it credit
Yeah.
for. But and you
I
can, it's physical, but you can run like Clear Amulet on the guy, right?
Right. I have a sneaking suspicion that Koraidon's going to get way lower usage than its strength would imply because it's always competing directly with Groudon for
Yeah.
whichever Sunsetter you want to run. And I don't know about y'all, but Groudon's not quad weak to Fairy. So.
He is the GOAT. He's been the GOAT for a long time. Groudon's been that guy. So, like, it does make
Yeah.
sense. But I do think also, like, I don't know. I think it depends on how good Kyogre is. It's crazy that we have two restricteds with Drought now. That's wild to me. But,
Insane.
Kyogre, depending on how good it is, resisting Kyogre's Water Spout is actually nice. Because Groudon, whenever you always had to switch him in on the Water Spout, and it always felt like shit. But now, he resists. That's nice.
It's true. Koraidon actually beats Kyogre in a way that Groudon couldn't.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. And it has a good, obviously it's physical, so it's hitting Kyogre on the weaker side of its split. So that is nice. But I agree with you guys. Like, it is obviously boosting the Protomons is instantly making it, like, way better than,
Yeah.
like without those guys, it might not be as good, but we have those guys, so he's amazing.
And I have a suspicion that Kyogre usage will be lower than historically
Yeah.
in years past. Partially because of this next Pokemon that we're going to talk about, Miraidon. It's
I mean-
also pretty strong.
Kyogre actually got screwed by double Drought users in the legendary pool and this electric guy. Like, it's brutal out here for Kyogre. And this guy takes the weather away, right?
Oh yeah, Terrapagos when it terastallizes its Terraform Zero ability shuts off all weather and all terrain.
Yeah, Kyogre actually got hard nerfed in every single restricted added to the game. And Groudon's still here, which never fun for Kyogre. Miraidon. So what are we thinking about Miraidon?
I'm thinking same A or S, right? What do you think, Toller? I think people have been telling me that I think it's so broken, but people are telling me it's not that broken. But just strong electric moves have been good since the beginning of time, and it's It's really strong. It sets up the terrain. Its damage is boosted, and then
Yeah.
you get your own little Icy Wind guy and bundle. Like the Quark Drive guys are generally a little bit worse than the Proto guys, but
I have a really hard time evaluating Miraidon because we haven't had a valid, like, actually good electric terrain mon for the entire format.
It's true.
Like the fact that it naturally negates Amoonguss for all of the grounded team members that you have is kind of sick. Because Amoonguss is obviously still good. If Groudon and Kyogre are good, then grass types are good, right? Like
yeah.
that's pretty sick. Miraidon does buckets of damage on its own in the same way that Koraidon does, except it doesn't need to hold a clear amulet to do it, so you can hold like a life orb if you want, and electric stuff great to like Kingdom Come,
Yeah.
and then you can also hold an assault vest a little bit more easily. I saw someone talking about that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, but like the support options that Miraidon gets are all kind of untested. Like, it's not just bundle; it's also Jugulus or
That's
like
true.
like Jugulus actually is interesting when it has Snarl and Tailwind and is a really good Calyrex Shadow answer.
Oh, true.
So it's like discount Eviltal, but like support Eviltal that powers up the Miraidon. Like the Miraidon teams are probably the only really good users of Jugulus that way. Because they can have two items. You can have Citrus and Booster effectively. That's kind of insane. Your hands is powered up.
yeah.
Brown is like a Pokemon that you can run with it. Like that's weird.
One thing to note though is that its ability setting electric terrain is like, it's obviously in a way you can have your own terrain control, but I do think Rillaboom is going to be really common still, and that is
Yeah.
annoying for it. Whereas like with the Koraidon, it's like you have to run a whole other weather setter, which like Rillaboom's a better Pokemon than Pelipper, or like,
Yeah,
you have to
just a little
dedicate
better.
A little bit.
Yeah, Pelipper, my beloved. I guess the upside of like these sorts of AV Miraidon sets that people are talking about, which I don't know if that's how it's going to end up, because you might need to boost to like get through important Pokemon, but you can Volt Switch off of Rillaboom, right? And so
Yeah.
you can sort of play a pivot heavy, like really annoying style that can't get shut down by Amoonguss, and typically Amoonguss is the best tool against defensive grindy teams, so
It's Coco time.
it's Coco time, baby.
I do think Miraidon having Electric Train is really cool because Amoonguss will be good. Like because now all the support Pokemon that I mean we've been using them all year, but like they instantly rise up in terms of their like usefulness. Like Incin is going to be number one. Fluttermane's going to be amazing, but it's going to be mostly supportive Fluttermane. We're going to see a ton of Rillaboom, ton of Amoonguss, like you guys were saying. So I do think that having that Electric Terrain is valuable, but Rillaboom
Amen.
could be annoying.
Special attack boosting, Choice Specs Fluttermane next to a Groudon.
I mean that does go.
I
kinda
don't
hard.
know.
Which one's better though? I mean, we should probably order which one. I would probably.
Definitely Miraidon. Definitely
Miraidon.
Miraidon is better.
Oh, wow.
Right, well, because Miraidon is competing with Groudon. It's
Yeah.
and the Miraidon's not quad weak to Fairy. I mean, it might be the case that Koraidon is stronger than Miraidon, but I still think Miraidon should see more usage than Koraidon does.
I do
I
feel
think we're
like
in
they're
the
about the
minority
same.
of this.
I do think a lot of people think this thing's broken. They like him from the tier lists I've seen.
I guess like we'll just have to play and find out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I think
right.
Miraidon seems better on paper.
I know you're a big Miraidon stan. I already can tell, dude. You've just been fighting those wars in the Discords, trying to convert the people to your way.
Anytime someone posts a team, I don't even look at it. I just say, it looks weak to Miraidon.
All right. The turtle, Terapagos. I don't know much about him. Toller, you seem to be more versed in his abilities, at least, because I'm not even sure what his ability does. So.
Terapagos has an ability called Terra Shell. Well, its first ability is irrelevant because he loses it the moment he's sent out.
Oh,
Or
perfect.
it loses it the moment it's sent out. And then it gets Terra Shell. And Terra Shell is like multi-scale, but it's better. It makes it so any attack that Terapagos takes while it's full health and not terastallized is treated as a not very effective attack. So if you hit it with a fighting attack that would usually be super effective, it just does not very effective levels of damage. So half of neutral damage, 1/4 of its usual damage, etc.
Okay, that's sick.
That's insane.
And then
This is tough
yeah,
multi-scale
it's like
for no reason.
yeah, broken multi-scale. Well, there are reasons. And as I recall, its second ability after it terastallizes, so you lose the buffed multi-scale. Yeah, is Terraform 0, which I mentioned earlier. Immediately shuts off all weather, all terrains. None of them have any impact anymore. So I'm gonna start by saying I think this thing is like C tier, maybe a little worse.
Ooh, taking the shots.
Well, there's a big problem with it, which have been discussed in like the team building groups that I've been looking at, because everyone's like, "OMG, Terapagos." So first part, Terra Starstorm is an awesome attack. It has 120 base power. It's so strong. Problem one, to make Terra Starstorm a Terra attack, you have to terrestrialize the Terapagos, and that's also what's required to make it like change forms, what's required to make it get Terraform 0, all that sort of stuff. So that's cool. But apparently the mechanic, and maybe this will be changed, or maybe I misread it, and so I might be speaking some straight like garbage onto a YouTube video, is Terapagos no longer gets stab on Terra Starstorm, its most important attack, once it terrestrializes.
Doesn't
So-
make any sense.
It does not make any sense. It goes to 1.2 times power as the typical Stellar Terra attack instead of being 2 times power, which is insane. So
Huh.
its move doesn't even get stab, and it's like it does no damage at all, and that's how it currently works on Showdown, and it's bad. Like you can set up your Terapagos and it's at +2, and you Terra Starstorm. I fought one. I was playing Kali Ice, just max HP Kali Ice. He +2 Terra Starstormed my my Kali Ice, and I did 40%, and I was like, that's bad.
That's a C tier mon. That's a C tier mon. if I've
That's a
ever heard
C tier
one.
mon. Like if I could set up Golden Go and get a better payoff, right? In fewer turns.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, okay, that's pretty concerning. If they fix that, I think it could easily go bump up a slot or two.
I
but-
think he's like a B, C. Like I do think if they fix it, he could definitely be B. Especially
Yeah.
because obviously it's,
I could be wrong too, right? Like it could not match the in-game mechanic,
Yeah.
but someone posted a convincing quote. I don't know.
So-
yeah, because like I think it is kind of a Terra suck. It's a Terra hog, but I think it's honestly worth it in a format where like things are a little more centralized with the restricteds, and it just is so punishing of opposing
Mhm.
Terras. The mirror is another thing that kind of makes it unfun.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how popular this Pokemon will be. So I do think B tier and C tier are like okay for it.
Yeah. And the other upside, right, is like it's normal type.
Lost Cali.
Or well, it starts normal type, which is great against Calyrex Shadow Rider.
yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
like the idea is just to set up Calm Minds and start sweeping with it, right?
Yeah.
He seems cool.
At
I think
least for now.
we'll leave him
Yeah.
to C. This loser can. I think he's probably better than these guys, but
Does he get expanding force?
yeah, he does.
Yeah, but so does Calyrex Shadow, and Calyrex Shadow's immune to fake out.
You're right. Okay, he's D.
Okay, but so is Mewtwo in Psychic Terrain.
This guy's bad
well,
too,
well,
right?
it doesn't. No, Mewtwo's a nerve and pressure. Yeah, no inner focus.
Both bad.
Yeah, I would put Ho there as well.
Ho-
Ho's got Regenerator, right?
He
Oh,
does.
walls fluttering really hard and one shots at a sunset.
It's good into this guy,
I would
right?
put it C. I would put
Yeah.
it C. Honestly, I
At
think
least
Ho is a little
C.
better.
I think it's better than Terapagos, but that's a personal opinion.
He's neat. He's neat. I'll say he's neat. He's also probably somewhat okay into Shadow Rider. Like that special
Yeah.
event stat is
He's got
That
crazy.
one-
both. Yeah,
150.
I really think Ho has value.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the king of VGC. I would say that
And
this
he's good at
Pokemon,
Groudon.
he is good at
Dude.
Groudon. Yeah.
Can I convince you to put Ho on B?
I would argue for Ho-Oh in B2, actually.
What the hell? All right, I'll put him in B. I mean,
He's got
and that's so many
Regenerator. That's just
Pokemon.
crazy.
He does look good into like basically all the big ones. Like
Just not
Except
Miraidon.
Miraidon.
Not
Miraidon and
Miraidon,
Kyogre, but Kyogre sucks anyway, right? That's what we're
Yeah.
about to say.
But you can Terra it too. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Regenerator, you got the
Dude,
recover.
Terra Dragon? I don't know. Whatever.
So Kyogre, in my opinion, like for the longest time, was seriously one of the best Pokemon in VGC history. Like it just pops off every single time it's a format, and this might be the first time it's like actually not like an S tier mon. Like because 2016 obviously was Primal and it was S tier. Like you had to bring one of the Primals. 2010 it won Worlds. I don't know how good it was. I don't know my 2010 super well. I think Toller, you know it a little bit.
2010, dude.
Uh,
That was like
I did play
Abraham
2010.
Lincoln was president. bro.
Yeah, that's
Come
Stone
on.
Age times. You don't have to talk about
Well,
2016.
that was one of my formats, bro. Like one of the peak strategies in 2010, building up to 2010 nationals and stuff, was
Oh my
hit on
God.
top Kyogre.
How could I forget?
So
That's like the
you-
OG
yeah.
strat.
Yeah, you intimidate and fake them out, and then you click Scarf Water Spout, and they get knocked out. There's nothing they could do. It was all down to the Hitmontop speed time. Actually, it wasn't Intimidate, it was Technician, because you got Technician Mach Punch to weaken the opponent's Kyogre's Water Spout. Bro, that was
So
a thing.
So Kyogre, amazing in 2010, amazing 2016, 2019. It did not win Worlds, but was still pretty good. And then I think Zay Shogar was fucking crazy in Sword and Shield. So like, I think it's always been, in my opinion, always an S tier mon. And where is it now? Is it like better than Ho-Oh?
Yes.
I-
yeah, no.
So this is the tricky bit with Kyogre, right? Is like, it's not that Kyogre is bad. It's that Raging Bolt is really good, and Water
It's
Pod
true.
is really good, and Miraidon is definitely one of the better restricteds. Like, there are a lot of Pokemon that Kyogre does not want to see that
And
look like
Koraidon.
they're going to be super high. Yeah, Koraidon and Miraidon are both terrible for Kyogre. Like, a lot of
Oh, he
Pokemon
gets Ice
Kyogre doesn't
Beam.
even want to see. Oh, good point. It gets Blizzard too.
Can
It
it
gets Ice
even?
Beam,
Ninetales.
and it punishes the Terra Fire on the guy, so like Flutter, like Ogre. Like I think
No,
he's still A tier.
Yeah, Kyogre is still like really good in a vacuum and demands answers to be on teams, so I think it's at least A tier. But it like the answers that exist are also very strong.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just think that we should never doubt Kyogre.
I agree with that. I think Kyogre's always like somewhat viable.
100% accurate 225 power spread move is never bad
That's true.
225 power. Or is
Mystic
that-
Water.
because it's in rain, so you
Oh.
1.5 it.
Without Mystic
Yeah.
Water, add that one in there.
Yeah, well, you'll get Mystic Water and Stab. I haven't even talked about Stab, right?
and Terra Water. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important that we have all those ants, and it turns on all of the genies except for Enamorus.
That is true.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is
bro.
big
Yeah.
for the genies
Yeah.
though. Like hitting their
It's answer
Blink Winds and stuff
people.
is nice.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Kyogre's good brother, Groudon. Where is Groudon? Is it like I'm feeling here or below Kyogre?
What?
You think he's better?
He's better than
bro. I
Koraidon.
think he
He's
might be
better
the
than
first S
Kyogre.
tier.
Yeah, I think he's S tier.
You think Groudon's S tier? Really?
Oh, are you trolling? What?
Okay, you know what? If he's not S tier though, I really think the only S tier Pokemon we're gonna have is Calyrex.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
there is
it's
only one
Groudon.
S tier. I think
I
it's.
think you might be right. I think we should. Put him
I
there.
think Groudon is probably second best next to Shadow Rider, and it's
Wow.
because ground fairy coverage is so broken.
It is.
Um,
It is. How could I forget? It does enable Flutter.
It turns on Raging Bolt. It's
Ooh.
it's a great
Dude,
partner for
That core is
Water
crazy.
Raging Bull.
Those three right there, Raging, Flutter, Groudon, is actually really fucking nice.
Well, it's perfect. You got your physical offensive sweeper in Groudon, or I mean, he can also be a pivot a little bit. You've got your special offensive sweeper in Flutter, and then you've got like your pivot like offensive support and Raging Bolt. It's like
You say the
Great.
words Raging Bolt, and instantly I was like, I'm an idiot. He's A. He's
Yeah.
he's
Don't
so
forget
good.
Jump Bluff, bro.
Jump
It's-
Pluff, yep. I mean, Joe, you know, is gonna have a field day with this guy.
it's like a pre-constructed deck. It's like Groudon, Raging Bolt, Fluttermane, Incineroar. Pick your last two, and it's like, okay, great. You're competitive at Worlds. Like,
Yeah,
good for you.
it's true. And like, are you the best Groudon player? Fuck it, dude. You're gonna win. This guy's ass.
You're gonna hit all your P-blades, so you're fine.
This guy's ass. Okay. What does the scary motherfucking
To
horse?
be clear, the
dial do?
reason that Rayquaza is bad is because Dragonite is better. So
It's also just like, why the fuck would you use your restricted on Rayquaza? Like, you only get one of these guys, and you're choosing that guy. I don't even think he's that cool looking, to be honest. A hot
What
take.
about
I
Mega
don't.
Ray?
Okay, that guy was cool, dude.
no matter what that you put on the Rayquaza, you're wasting like what,
Just
like
use
80,
Dragonite
90
is so
stat points
funny.
because he's got
No.
split like 150 offenses. Like
Yeah.
If it was Mega Ray, I'd understand.
Mega Ray is the goat. Yeah,
But then Primal Groudon's in the game theoretically. Holy shit.
yeah. Then we
No,
need
no,
Mega Ray.
just Mega Ray.
Oh, just
So
Mega Ray.
it's really important to note, right? If we're comparing to 2016, part of the reason Mega Ray was so important was because it beat both Kyogre and Groudon really
Yeah.
badly. Now we've got Miraidon, Koraidon, like two big dragon types that are really good into Groudon and Kyogre. Like
It's true. They do match up.
they're
well,
already
though.
there.
These guys really are just like they're just twins. They're even
Yeah.
the same color scheme.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
story
all
as
good,
old as
though.
time, man.
Yeah.
Toller, do you know
Look
much about
red.
this guy?
Yeah, what is his
Essentially,
ability? I want to know stuff about him.
it's got the same ability as Dialga, so it's got pressure or
Ooh.
telepathy. Telepathy is pretty good. The change here is that it gets it loses 20 attack and gains 20 Spadef,
Oh,
and then it's forced to hold the Adamant Orb. So it's bulkier than regular Dialga, but has to hold a specific item, and
And
that's
you-
basically the only thing.
and you get the boosted damage right on your Steel and Dragon moves.
That's correct. Yeah, the 1.2 times. on
Okay.
both.
Yeah, it's the orb
The orb.
It's the orb,
or
the equivalent
crystal
of the
or
orb.
whatever.
So
The adamant crystal.
if
Yeah.
I had to guess, he looks ass into all of our good Pokemon already. Like outside of this guy. I guess he's probably okay into Miraidon, right? But like you still don't even resist him. I think he's probably like C tier, right?
He's pretty good into like setting TR against Shadow Rider because he's got the 120 base Fidef now.
But
I mean,
he's so
compared to regular
fast.
Dialga, he's better than
Mm.
regular Dialga. I think regular Dialga is worse because while regular Dialga can hold a good item, like having the spit F in this format is super important.
That is true. We got a lot. We got a lot of those guys.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm not really compelled to think about him. Like, he just, honestly, even if his stats are, he's just so ugly. Like, I just don't want that on my screen.
I think he's definitely interesting. I don't know.
Interesting.
He's an
Yeah,
interesting
he's-
one. That's what Aaron Cybertron Zhang says when
I
it's
think
bad.
we could see, so if like we know this is the world's format, right? If I'm evaluating the
Yeah,
power
yeah.
of Origin Form Dialga, I think it probably has a chance to get one top 16 spot at Worlds.
I can see that. I
That's
can see that.
crazy.
I think
I
it
think-
does because
I
it's
think
got
in a perfect
reasonable
meta.
typing.
I
It's
have no
a-
idea. Maybe. Sure.
It has reasonable typing and can set TR pretty well.
It just
and-
seems worse than P2, man.
Yeah, but it's good into Ice Rider. It does seem worse than P2, doesn't it? Holy crap. Maybe I'm lying, bro. Maybe I'm capping.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems okay.
What about this guy? What about
It's
his
like the
brother
same
Palkia?
shtick.
Is it like the
It's
same?
not as good when Kyogre's not as good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it
That
does
was.
have some nice things going for it. Like, there's no Xerneas.
Okay, Origin Form Palkia loses 20 attack to get 20 speed. So that doesn't matter because it's still not 135 speed.
think-
I'd prefer to have an item on my regular Palkia.
I think they're just D, dude. I mean, I guess. I feel like
I think
maybe
Origin Form Dialga has a shot.
it has a
His
shot.
telepathy's good.
Telepathy's sick, yeah. Should we just not even talk about these guys? Okay, I will say he gets Shadow Sneak. I was telling you guys earlier, he can one shot the Shadow Rider. He's better than these guys.
Yeah. Does it
Yeah.
learn Toxic? The fat guy could be good.
No, I did almost in 2023. I almost lost to Trinity. It was very difficult with Zacian.
Yeah, you would play like Wisp Depulse and
Yes, it was annoying.
you'd be a gamer. Yep.
What
That was a
about
2010 set too.
what about our boy Reshiram? Reshiram is like Zekrom is. We can just knock him out right here. He's in
Because
the
it's just worse than
the
right
garbage bin.
Roll to intimidate.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Reshiram's cheeks.
Reshiram's cheeks.
I'm pretty sure. It really wants to have
Two
another
dragon
Reshiram that's
types is
good.
actually pretty brutal. This guy's here. Yeah, he's Cheeks. He's out of here.
Cheeks, bro.
Cheeks.
I'm not a
Hey,
Reshiram
hey,
fan
hey.
here.
Blizzard
It has
spam,
good
bro.
it has good special defense.
Kyurem could be C.
I think Kyurem could be B or C. It's competing for B because of the high special attack and benefit from snow. It benefits from snow, so it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a great
yeah.
Weather's
Hail-
good.
Hail- Our snow is real now.
Snow's real. Yeah. Okay. This one's ass though. He's good.
Yeah, that one's bad.
What about these two? I think these guys are like actually real mons. Like they're good, but I just don't think like judging by our A tier, S tier already, they just don't seem like they're super valuable.
Solg is like, meh. Lunala is definitely more interesting to me.
Well, Lunala has almost the exact same stats as Raging Bolt, so you're really gonna have to make a good argument for why Ghost Typing and Shadow Shield are.
It's just a really cool Trick Room setter.
It is a really cool trick
I
setter,
mean-
and it gets Tail and Wide Guard.
Wide guard's
Yeah,
big.
Tailwind Wide Guard, Meteor Beam still a thing, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Meteor Beam. It still does all that stuff. Like it can help beat Nensen in a way that Raging Bolt can't.
It's-
Yeah, and it gets
But it's-
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not better than the other dudes. I would still put it C or B, and I think Solg might be D.
I think it just needs.
I think Solg is D, yeah.
I
Because
think-
Solg is like, what is Solg competing with? Like, Metagross gets Heavy Slam now. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, Solg's cheeks for sure. It gets Trick Room, right? But
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
better off using this one maybe potentially.
Yeah.
Even, but
is that even in the game, dude? What is it?
it is in the game because you get Necrozma. You can get Necrozma, and you can get the two Solgaleo and Lunala.
But he can't turn into the big man, right?
no, but
cannot
they
turn
can
into
still be
Ultra
this
Necrozma.
guy. They can still be
Yeah,
that
but
guy.
that shit sucks.
Well, it's 157 attack with Prism Armor. Like, it's pretty good.
I guess that is actually.
Yeah, it's like you can put a.
It
There are a
seems
lot
so
of Pokemon
good.
here where it's like you toss a clam on it and it's actually like reasonable. I think Duskmane Necrozma is better than C.
Solgaleo for sure.
You think it's better than
Better than-
C? Or-
Sorry, is C better than Solgaleo?
Gotcha,
is what
gotcha.
I'm-
This
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
ass, right? Like I don't think he's ever been that great.
I don't think Donovan's Bueno.
It did get second at
Yeah.
Japan Nats one year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, dude, that's different. I think Calyrex Shadow and Insight Invalidate a
It
lot
has
of these
Prism
guys.
Armor. It's really it's a good. It could go with Indeedee, but man,
Mhm.
it really loses to it
Dude, I
really
think we
loses
should put
to-
Duskman back in D.
He can be the bottom, dude. He can be the bottom. Of
He can be the bottom. I think Dawn Wings is being weak to Ghost is just like
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, you
That's
should
fair,
use
so.
everything above this. Like, do not use anything below Terapagos. I'm feeling, but
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
But like, you
Terapagos
can.
bottom
These
of-
guys, you could probably win some ladder games with them. I'll tell you that much. I'll probably feature
Yeah.
them in a YouTube video. They might get some good clickbait. But outside of that,
Yeah.
that's where they belong. They're the clickbait guys. What about our cherished boyzation? Obviously, I love this Pokemon so much. He's so fun. Was so fun to use, but they did hit him
Yeah.
with the most nasty nerf possible. His Intrepid Sword only activates once, so
It's not just that he lost 20 points of attack.
oh, even better. They really gutted him.
But wasn't he like 180 attack or some shit?
Yeah, now he's well. It's just like it's the difference between getting one shots and getting two shots, and that really matters when you only get one activation with your sword.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's base 150 attack.
That's not even that good, dude. I feel like some like
It's not
Dragonite.
even that good.
Dude, in the modern era, I swear to God, these mons are getting insane, dude. But
Yeah, it has a higher attack
Dustine
stat.
across has more attack.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. All right, I don't know. It's like D, maybe C.
I think it's a C.
I think it's. I'm gonna give it B because the typing is so broken, right?
Wow.
And Intrepid Sword is still a better ability than a lot of other abilities that are.
You
there.
actually just have to like be smart about it for once.
Well, I mean, you don't just have to be smart about it. It's very beatable, but I think like as far as like an anti-meta Pokemon, if you think you're gonna fight a lot of Miraidon and Koraidon, you know,
That's true.
it's faster than them.
can
It
Terra,
has the
right?
big fairy coverage. It can
Oh.
Terrastalize. You have Terra Steel, Terra Fairy.
Ooh,
I
okay.
forgot Swords Dance.
Okay,
It's
this mon is not ass. This mon is not ass.
It's not
No,
that
it's not-
bad.
I don't
but
think it's
it
D.
is
I don't know why I
now.
said that. I think it's better than Dustman.
Yeah, it's better than Dustmane. I think the only problem is because of the Intrepid Sword nerf, it's weaker to Ensign than it's ever been before. And I think
And-
like if we weren't raking the restricteds, we would just put Ensign at the top again because it beats everything that it needs to beat in this format, and then it's also a powerful supporter to boot. So
no,
like,
I mean, Instance S tier for sure. He's like
Yeah,
the
it
best
doesn't
mod
get
in
an
the
item
game.
though.
I would say he can test these guys, bro. I'd rather just run Instant
Yeah.
than one of them.
yeah, Zacian doesn't get an item. That's absolutely true.
Put the Behemoth Blader in D. The
Uh,
Basher, sorry.
The only niche that it has is coaching with Urshifu, which is
Yeah,
cool.
Whatever.
But it also lost stat points so that it would match
What?
Zacian, which it did not deserve.
They did not need to do that. Does it get body press?
It does get body press, so it's one of
Okay.
the strong. It gets iron defense body press.
I
so
actually-
it's one of the strongest IDVP.
Okay, put it in
users
C.
the
Put it
format.
in C. He deserves
Yeah.
a little body press.
I
action.
think
I think Zamazenta Tinglu is like a real thing.
Oh my god,
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
that's gonna be the
Yeah,
first
you can
YouTube
do
video right
P2
there.
Amoonguss, P2 Amoonguss, Zamazenta Tinglu.
What do we think about
I
a
think-
Turnus?
It almost should be an E tier, man.
Really? You think it's that bad?
No, it's not that bad, but I don't think it's good.
It was cutting. It cut a Japan tournament in 2020.
Really? What does it do though?
It's fat. It
Cosmic power?
a lot of HP, a lot of speed, has cosmic power, and then has a bunch of like strong attacks to fire off
It
from
wa-
145 special attack stat.
It was pretty popular, I believe, actually in Series 10 when we did have those single restricted, but that was obviously because of Dynamax Cannon, and
Yeah.
it was hard
I
to
think
kill.
the cannon is useless now. I mean, poison's obviously really good, but it's weak to ground and dragon and
Yeah.
against fairy.
Yeah, it's bad against Groudon. It's not faster than Fluttermane, if I recall, because it's 130 rather than 135, which is
Oh,
like
they did him
death
dirty.
knell.
And it
You
doesn't have an
don't compete
ability.
with Groudon, Fluttermane. Like,
All right.
um,
Yeah, he's ass. Now, Toller, I'll let you start this one because you are familiar with the boy here.
I've clicked Glacial Lance 10 times.
Yes.
Okay, so I think with Ice Rider, let me just put it this way. I think you can port over the P2 Ice Rider concept from Series 12 directly into Regulation G and be very happy. Ice Rider is an amazing clam holder.
Ooh,
because
yeah, that's
that
huge.
means that it's not as vulnerable to Ensign. It learns high horsepower and does 80% of Ensign's health. So if you get TR going and wait the turn of fake out that they're going to throw at you, that's amazing. It's a great partner with P2 because P2 is immune to Ghost and gives you a second TR setter. And then you have Terra Ice Glacial Lance, which with Clam is doing like 40% to Ensign on the switch end. So I think this Pokemon is competing for S tier. Probably not as good as Shadow Rider because it's a more complex setup, but like I do not think you can possibly go wrong by just starting day one with Kali Ice, P2, Amoonguss, and Cineroar, and then figuring it out. Like, it's very, very powerful being able to set its own TR and having ice ground coverage the way that it does.
I agree. I think it's A tier for sure. I think its strong spread move Clam is insane. Bulk is insane. Sets up its own trick room, and its ability is stupid.
He actually does it all. He does it
It's
all.
an attack boost that you can't reduce unless you knock it off or wisp it.
Right.
So yeah, it's A tier, easy.
You get 1 turn in TR to go for 1 attack and get 1 KO, and the game ends because they have to live another turn after your +1 in Terra Ice, like, or whatever Terra you want. It can be defensive Terra too.
It's so silly, man.
It's really insane.
I think he also, I mean, obviously, if you look at the 3 Pokemon behind him right now, he hits all of them super effectively with the Ice move. So it's like, he in Trick Room is just going to pound through teams. Like, it's actually pretty nuts.
Ironically, I think the worst matchup is Kyogre.
Kyogre! All
I could
right.
see it being good with Rillaboom or something though.
Rillaboom, you have Raging Bolt access.
It's true.
You can
It's
run
good in the
Snow
Bolt
with
too.
this thing, right? Like, you don't take physical
Yeah.
damage if you have.
I was gonna say Snow seems really funny with it.
Yeah, you set a screen and it's like, okay, you can fake me out, but I'm gonna set TR and the most damage you're gonna do is like 10%.
It seems like it has a lot of flexibility, even though it is kind of a one-dimensional Pokemon, like set up Trick Room Sweep. But it seems like it does have, like, it's got that depth because it is so bulky. Like, it doesn't need Trick Room to be super strong. So
Yeah, and I
It's
just
just a
think
good
with the
one.
Mungus, you can side puff. Like it's
hard to kill.
it benefits a lot from the new Terra mechanic rather than Dynamax single restricted. Zation being worse.
It is
Yeah,
true. Now
When you
don't.
used to Terrastalize Cali Ice, you would lose the spread move.
Yup.
But now when you Terrastalize Cali Ice, you power up the spread move.
Yeah, actually Terra Ice is defensive Terra into Shadow as well. Yeah.
Wow, it really is just a horse game. And obviously, we got to put the king, Calyrex Shadow, in S.
So we have to explain this, right? Because a lot of tier lists are just gonna throw Calyrex Shadow in first and then go, right?
Mhm.
But you two are really well equipped to talk about how good Shadow is.
Raghav, a
Why are we well
fun,
equipped?
fun fact. I want to tell you a little anecdote. In last the last time we played Restricted, Raghav said, "I refuse to use Calyrex because I do not want to buy the DLC or play it. So we will not be using that guy this season." That's what he told us, and we never used it. Like, obviously, I think if we found the right sauce with it, like, we could have used it. But Raghav really just never used Calyrex Shadow Rider. We never used it in tournament.
Stand by it, okay? Even though it won Worlds, I stand by it because it wasn't the right choice for us. I think if there was any different restricted duo that I was gonna bring to Worlds, it would have been Groudon Lunala anyway.
You were
Just
sauce with
because-
that.
What's up?
You were sauce with that. You were nasty. I think you were better with that than the other team, to be honest.
I know. I think I really could have gone far with it, but it doesn't matter. I'm still really happy with that Worlds performance. It was my first time making day 2, so honestly, pretty positive memories. But Calyrex Shadow won Worlds that year, with even though it was more of a support set. You know, now it gets Expanding Force with the Indeedee, which is kind of
God.
crazy. Wait, did it get back then too?
I
I
don't know.
feel like I should remember this. No
No,
one
it did.
used it.
It did.
It did. I think it did. Yeah.
Pretty sure James Evans won with Expanding Force.
Yeah.
He didn't even have Psychic Terrain.
He just ran
Oh, did
expanding
he?
force. At his
Oh, in
coverage.
case someone else had Expanding Force.
Something
Or,
like
sorry,
that.
had Psychic Dream. I see.
It's just always been crazy. You know, without Dynamax, more Pokemon die. You know, there's less bulk. The fact that it can Terra is huge for it because its biggest weakness was its defensive typing. Offensively, it's insane. It gets Nasty Plot. It's just insane. Like I
You
think
can
this
Terra Fairy
Pokemon
now
is-
and it gets Draining Kiss.
it gets Draining Kiss, which like Terra Fairy is a really good Terra for it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this Pokemon is by far the most broken and will be the most centralizing Pokemon. And even when you think that you have good responses for it, you will not.
Yep.
It's kind of like Urshifu in that sense, where it's like, it's gonna be broken, guys. Like,
Yep.
it may fall off in usage for a little, but it'll always come back and it'll always be annoying if you're not ready for it.
This Pokemon like casually outspeeds Scarfers, right? Like if I recall, Shadow Rider can just outspeed Adamant Scarf Urshifu just because it wants to, if I'm remembering correctly.
It
Like
definitely can. It definitely can.
yeah, like
So
it does that.
fast.
It
And its
has
bulk isn't even bad.
its bulk is good. It has reasonable coverage. It gets Wisp. It gets Snarl, and it gets Astral Barrage, Expanding Force. It gets Pollen Puff. Like
Yeah, casual base 165
Leaf
special
Sword?
attack.
yeah,
Why
and it
does
gets
it get
boost
these
whenever it gets a
moves?
KO. So if you set up the board correctly, it can just like it's the best closer in the entirety of competitive Pokemon. It's really
By far.
insane.
Yeah, and it gets that special attack boost with 1 KO. It's like stupid.
It's very OP. This
And
Pokemon
Astral
is-
Projection is just the best move, man.
Astral Barrage. You mean.
Astral Projection.
No, I know what I said.
Astral Projection.
I always called that.
Yeah. That's so funny.
I
Well, it's
did-
like
Oh.
Cali Ice has to set up for itself. Cali Shadow doesn't even have to set up for itself. It just goes.
It just comes in the game and presses Astral Barrage instantaneously. Faster than everything on the board without Tailwind.
And it forces Fluttermane to Terra, like, which it doesn't really want to in this format as much.
You got plenty of other Pokemon that wish they could Terra in front of specifically Shadow Rider.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
Incin can't even touch it once it presses Terra whatever it wants.
Terra Water, Terra Blast.
Yep, or just
my
Terra Fairy, whatever you
Terra
need.
Fairy.
Like just not being 4 times weak to Incin makes it instantly like
Yeah.
Incin is not an issue.
So
anymore.
much better, yeah.
Yeah.
You're cycling in Cinderella out, healing it, faking out. It's a great partner. Ironically, it's the Nasty Pot set is scary next to Clefairy.
I believe
Uh,
that.
It's everything Golden Go couldn't be next to Clefairy because you can even use the Helping Hand and you're really fast naturally, so you don't need a Torrent to set up a Tailwind or anything. Like
Yeah.
Pokemon's crazy.
It's got depth.
is
Like the
nuts.
move pool is crazy. Like you can run it supportive, you can run it a sweeper. Like it just has so
Yeah.
much like depth to the sets.
The only weakness is that the coverage is weird, but it's still very usable coverage. Like
Yeah, you don't
Shadow-
even need to run a second stab. Like, Astral Barrage is more than enough. Like,
Yeah.
Draining Kiss is fine. You know, people used to run like shit like Mudshot on it. Like
They did.
You'll be fine. You know, even Terra Blast, even if you don't Terra,
Yeah,
is
you
pretty
just run
good.
Terra Blast. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think we got our. I think it's a really solid tier list. We'll revisit this later someday, maybe.
I know
Um,
we're gonna look at this and be like, what were we thinking?
We're
I-
so stupid. Some of this is so broken,
This C
guys.
tier is really just throwing me off. And
This-
then the random ho-ozation in B.
I think-
I don't know.
I think everything after Terapagos feels pretty like I feel like you can shuffle them around a little bit, but I feel like it is pretty good. Like I could maybe see Zacian and Ho-Oh being worse, just knocking them out completely, or maybe Zacian's a little better. Maybe Ho-Oh is probably worse, but
I
maybe
think Terapagos is the one that I'm just really not sure about.
dude, let's put him at the bottom
Yeah.
of B.
It's hard to understand like exactly what's gonna happen, and there's like, I don't think anyone knows Terapagos' mechanics perfectly, so
Yeah.
fine.
But I feel
But
good about this.
Terapagos is really bad in singles. I'll say that. Like, it's an Uber, but it's one of the worst.
Yeah.
That's a sad
Also, I
fate.
really. Go.
All right.
Get
Well,
out of
thank
here.
you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, this is our tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you both, Raghav and Toller, for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe. Help us get to 1 million subs. We didn't make it by the end of April, so now end of March. So now we're trying to get to 1 million by the end of April. Help us out. We'll see you guys next time.